Margarita. What's going on here, Margarita?
Okay, so I've got a surprise for you, David. And first of all, we're going to blindfold you. So, coming through.
It feels like an antique chair.
Okay, so I'm going to give you something quite tactile to feel. And
Is this one of your cats? It's not warm. I wouldn't have a clue, but I would say it's furry coral.
it is actually quite like furry coral. We've got another piece here, which is...
Oh, this feels like one of your clown-like corals. Oh, this feels like something I should be washing up with.
Actually, you should smell that one.
Oh, the olfactory sensors are in overload, thank you.
Yeah, that's an old yoga mat. So we prepared a little mise en scene for you. So we just like to turn around.
Can I take the...
Yeah, we'll take that off for you. And that's some, some
cool.
work.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
How fantastic. I particularly have liked how you've used these stem-like works over the years.
Yeah.
And the, I don't know, mixture of
That's
the
a
soft...
very coral one.
The soft coral
Yeah.
meets the bordello.
They are bordello too.
One of my favourite stories about Sculpture by the Sea is you and your story with Sculpture by the Sea, and that's why we're here today, because your journey as a sculptor has, from a time point of view, exactly mirrored the journey of Sculpture by the Sea.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell people what
Sure.
the start of that journey?
Yeah, okay. So I had been at art college and I'd majored in painting, and it just wasn't working for me. And I just started to play with my very first little pieces that probably looked a little bit, like this. And that was just sort of gestating, and Sculpture by the Sea came along and put out their very first call. And I was living in North Bondi, and I thought, I could probably do something like this. I could have a whack at it. Very Aussie kind of can do. And I hadn't worked in large scale work at all. And so we put together an application and just kind of nutted out how we were going to do it. I had to make a form. I didn't know how to make a large form. I knew how to do textiles because I could sew. And so we went to a plastics extruder and found the right kind of plastic that would make a lycra form stay put.
Because this work was sea urchins,
It
a
was
series
giant
of
sea urchins.
2 or 3.
3. Actually, they had music inside them. So
That's right, they did too. When
Yeah.
people touched them, did it
Yeah.
respond?
No, that was just a loop. It was very, very old school. It was a tape that we looped. My brother...
For those of you out there, a tape was put into a cassette recorder. Sorry.
And you pressed go on it. And we'd actually got old tape recorders and wrapped them up in towels and buried them underneath the sculptures. So it was just so lo-fi.
Lo-fi. And you had a fantastic work for the second year, Fish Curtain. Did that immediately pop into your mind at Tamarama that first day, or did it percolate and then suddenly, what was the process by which you got to one of my favourite works ever in Sculpture by the Sea?
I think it was a percolation. It was based on the school of mullet that we see in the lagoon on Norfolk, and the beautiful way the school of fish all turn at the same time. So how was I going to make that happen? And when I came up with the idea of making it into a mobile, and we did a little test run, and the fish, and working out how the fish were all going to move. So the very light sewn pieces, my mum helped me sew, there was 500 of them. And once we'd installed them, and you could actually see the wind move from one part of the piece right through to the other. So you could see a gust of wind and watch them stir.
And sadly, the work is forever in the ocean.
Yes, it is.
What happened there?
So 2001, I'd been living in Germany, and we were moving back to Australia, and we had all of our goods in a shipping container, and the boat hit a storm on I think it was the Cape of Good Hope underneath, and they lost about 27 shipping containers, including one that had all of my work in it.
I think I still had the work that had been part of your artist submission.
That's right.
And so one fish had survived.
One fish had survived, and then last year when you brought me into the decade.
You brought yourself into the decade.
I brought myself into the decade.
Exhibiting
club.
with us for the 10th time.
Yes, and so there was a dinner, and you presented me with my very last fish, which is just here. So
Yeah.
that's a 20-year-old fish that's survived.
Yeah, well, being an artist, your maths isn't great. It's 19 years.
19.
But
Oh, that's true. Yeah, sorry.
that's why we call it a sculptor's dozen. It means whatever you want. But no, it was. I didn't want to let go of this, but I thought it was very much more appropriate for you to have it in your home, and it's survived the test of time reasonably well.
Yeah, it has.
You mentioned that you participated in the school's education program over the years. How have you found participating in that? It's certainly one of the things that I like the most as one of the tangential aspects of the exhibition.
I love interacting with the kids every year. One of my favourite ones, I think it was about 2 years ago when we did the School of the Air link up.
Remote classrooms where we're beaming the exhibition and a workshop
amazing.
into remote
That
schools.
was amazing. And it was so exciting watching them sort of hook up with all the different schools, and the schools were, you know, can you hear me, whatever school it was. And we got Norfolk Island onto it as well.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that.
And the kids were all there, and I knew the teachers, and I heard, "Hello, Auntie Marky," and it was my niece and nephew sitting down the front, and it was just beautiful.